Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like we're on some type of messed up merry-go-round when it comes to Snope and Ocean State at the Supreme Court. I mean, yeah, we've covered a lot of distance, but we never actually get anywhere. I don't know if the Supreme Court has some type of secret plan that they're working on behind closed doors and they're just waiting to execute that plan, or if they're just dragging their feet. Anybody who's not behind those doors doesn't really know what's happening, but they sure do make us wait, don't they? Well, we have some new news that just came out earlier today, and we also have a very important, kind of urgent looming deadline that's coming up very soon that would have a major impact on these two cases, and we need to talk about that as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. The algorithm's just been absolutely killing us lately, and the only way we're going to get through this is with your support. Thumbs ups are always appreciated. That little alarm bell will let you know when new videos come out, and leave a comment. That's kind of wherever everything happens down there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So if you watch the channel frequently, you know that we talk about Snope and Ocean State a lot, at least once a week or once every other week, depending on the Supreme Court schedule. And again, I do that because I still feel that these are the two most important cases that are sitting before the Supreme Court in regards to the Second Amendment. I mean, you have Snope, which deals with the so-called assault weapons bans. You got Ocean State, which deals with mag bans and magazine capacity limits. And these are two issues that are spreading like wildfire across our country right now. You take a look at California or Washington, Massachusetts, Illinois, New York. I mean, the list of states that are putting restrictions on these things just seems to keep growing, and the Supreme Court needs to answer these questions. So again, anytime there's an update on the status or something happens, I try and jump in front of the camera and let you guys know about it. Now, we just found out earlier today, after waiting for yet another week because there was nothing on the Supreme Court's calendar for last week, that both Snope and Ocean State have once again been rescheduled for conference, but this time it's going to be on Thursday, May 15th. So this has got to be like the 13th or 14th time now that these two cases have been conferenced. Now, this is kind of an important date because since it's conference on a Thursday, there is the possibility that we could find out on Friday whether or not they decide to accept them or deny them or come out with some other decision. So we could find out as early as this week what the Supreme Court is going to do with these two cases. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I have my own opinions on what's going on at the Supreme Court. I do kind of feel like maybe they're waiting for Duncan because they don't like to take interlocutory cases, which is in exactly what Ocean State is. And so they might be waiting for Duncan to get up there, and they might just, maybe GVR Ocean State and then accept both Duncan and Snope once it gets there. There's a lot of different things. But again, at this point, it doesn't matter who you listen to. It's really all just speculation. We're all just kind of waiting to see what happens, the same as you are. Now, let's talk about that looming deadline. Now, this looming deadline is, to me, very, very important, and not too many people are really talking about it, but we are almost at the end of the Supreme Court's calendar for this session. So that means that we are almost at the end for them to be able to accept either Snope or Ocean State. So the end of the Supreme Court's calendar before they go on summer break ends in June. So we only have one more month from this date for them to be able to accept it. If they don't accept it within that time, that means that that's it. These cases are considered denied and the lower court's decision stands. Now, if that actually did happen, and let's say that they just reconference these until the summer recess, it would be the same as if they denied it on day one, except they kind of left us with hope this entire time, because the way that it's felt to a lot of people up until now is that at one point it felt like they were definitely going to take it, right? And then after 4 or 5 or 6 relists or 7 relists or 8 relists, maybe the chances started going down. Maybe they're not going to take it. And then hope started to build again once we got, past the 10th conference, because why would they wait this long to then just deny them? But here we are again, at like the 13th or 14th conference, and we're still waiting to see what happens. So at this point, it's really just all up in the air, and we don't know what the Supreme Court is going to do about it. But they have to do something soon, because again, the summer recess starts at the end of June. I believe last year they ended up pushing it an extra day or two. They pushed it into the beginning of July. But typically it happens at the end of June. They go on their summer recess, and every case that has not been accepted until that point gets denied. because they don't take very many cases at the Supreme Court. As you see, every single week we get that order list, right? Or almost every week we get that order list. And there are sometimes hundreds of cases that get denied and maybe 1 or 2 cases that actually get accepted. So it's more rare to see a case get accepted than it is to get denied. They deny cases all the time. So we're just going to continue to watch this very closely, you and I, to see what they do and whether or not they actually choose to move on this. But they got to move soon. Again, we only have 1 more month before summer recess. We need to get something done before that date. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Wanted to give you guys that update. After waiting for yet another week, we now know the next date for conference. And thankfully, they are being conferenced and that they weren't denied. We have to at least count that blessing, right? I mean, seeing a denial would just be the absolute worst at this point. But seeing that they've been reconferenced at least continues to give us a little bit of hope. And maybe I'm stupid for waiting for that hope, but I'm going to hang on to it for as long as humanly possible because these are 2 cases that they need to take. They need to stop dragging their feet on all Second Amendment cases. They'll take government cases and, have a decision on those government cases within a couple weeks. But whenever it comes to our Second Amendment rights, it's not really that big of a deal. So again, I wanted to share that with you. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, and you all have a great day.